wife, Spanish girl, and I assumed because limited amount of information I have was in my head, all Spanish people like spicy food. That was the way it worked. Like, that was it. You know,
it's pretty racist.
So, I hear you, but that was.
I think it's a fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like all Italians like pasta. You know, like that was a thing. And when I met my wife, it was just like we would start going to these restaurants and stuff like that, and. You know, I'm wondering, why doesn't she order spicy food? Like, oh, you don't like spicy this? And she's like, no. She's like, I don't really like spicy food. So when we started dating, like, I slowly got her into eating spicier food because I think spicy food's fun, you know, in general. You know, I think the extremes are a little crazy even for me. But I think, you know, opening up your palate with the spicy side of things is nice. And typically it's healthier for you.
Really? Why so?
It's like because your metabolism.
It increases your metabolism. Yeah. That's one thing. And then depending on how the spicy food is made, you know, we'll get into the product itself, but depending on how the spicy food is made, beyond the metabolism increase, it has a lot of digestive benefits also. So it helps with your, like, a lot of it has natural probiotics in it. It has natural enzymes in it that help with protein digestion and breakdown. So, you know, and then on top of that, if you do it the right way, which in my opinion, a lot of people don't do it the right way. But if you do spicy food the right way and you do a low sodium version of spicy food, it's also anti-inflammatory. But as soon as you add like buckets of sodium to anything, that health benefit just kind of goes right out the window.
Yeah.
So, and that's unfortunate, you know.
Clears me out most
I
of
was
the
just
time.
going to say. Plus,
it's like,
you know,
it's like, oh, so I can eat wings all the time. I'm like, well,
coming.
not with that type of sauce. No, it doesn't work
plus
that way.
it's basically like Metamucil.
Yeah. You know.
Shit my pants.
Some people it does that too, you know. Some people
It gives me heartburn, which is unfortunate because I love spicy food.
So that's one of the things that we help mitigate because we're a vinegar-based product, and a lot of people think vinegar and they think it activates heartburn when it really doesn't. It actually quells heartburn quite a bit. So you know, with the stuff that we have in the product itself, it's a low sodium product, so you don't have to worry about the inflammation stuff. We use real fruit and vegetables in it, so it carries all the fiber profiles of the fruits and vegetables. We're again a real produce-based product, and we're not rehydrating produce and you know, making it in that respect, which a lot of people do because it's cheaper to make it that way. We still carry all the fiber from the produce. We still carry all the bromelain from the pineapple, so you have all those digestive enzymes in there. And we do add a little bit of sugar because sometimes the pineapples aren't that sweet. You know, sometimes when we make the product, we're a very small batch company, so every time we make a batch, it is a little bit different. You know, sometimes the peppers carry a little more heat, sometimes a little less heat. So, but the sweetness thing, we kind of tried to mitigate the depth of sweetness by just adding a little bit of natural sugar to it. We use high quality everything across the board. But because of the fiber in it, because of the bromelain in the pineapple, because of the capsaicin in the peppers, because it's a low sodium product, it really carries a lot of health properties that a lot of other people that are making these types of products aren't really doing. You know, they're doing the high heat stuff, which is fun, you know.
You mean like hot sauce?
Like real hot sauce.
Yeah.
Like really hot.
You ever do the one chip challenge?
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah, it's not.
That shit's out of control.
It's just silly. You know, it's just silly. I have a friend of mine.
I've seen grown men brought to their knees.
Right. So I have a friend of mine who is a real hot
Connoisseur
guy. Yeah. He's like plows through any kind of hot food. And when I made my first batch, I didn't have enough time to go over there and taste the product. He actually tasted the product for me. He's about, you know, he's in his mid 60s. Wonderful, wonderful guy. And I have a hard time judging his opinion on things because he's so happy for the product just to be a real product at this point. You know, he gets so excited that it's so.
You think he's like biased?
A little bit. A little bit. But at the same time, it's so exciting seeing somebody get so excited for the product. So when he went down to taste it, he actually broke it down. He's like, well, it's a little bit different because, you know, mass production is different than, you know, at-home production, obviously. And they try to get it as close as possible. But he broke it down. He's like, well, you know, it's warm out of the vat, so it's different, and it's this and that, and the viscosity is a little thinner, and because it was hot, and he broke it down, and the guy that was actually making it, I guess the head chef or whatever he is at the co-packer, He took everything into account and he adjusted the recipe a little bit here and there, and then we went right to bottling.
That's cool. How many, when you make a batch, how many bottles you get?
So I
But
get
wait a second.
What's up?
Did he try the one chip challenge?
He did. So he tried the one chip challenge. Darnell, my guy. He tried the one chip challenge, and he added Angry Duck on top of the one chip challenge. We got a video of it and everything. Like, it was wild. Like, he was like, yeah, this is okay. He's like, but to really get some good flavor, he added Angry Duck.
So he went through it no problem?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he blasted.
He's
right
a fucking freak of nature.
He's a beast.
There's something wrong with him.
He's a beast.
I seen like 6 or 7 middle school kids outside of 7-Eleven doing the one chip challenge, just puking
all over the place. Yeah,
with a blue mouth.
Yeah,
and that's what they deserve. Not for nothing, but that's what they deserve. Like,
I just started puking
you don't have the palate for it. There's no reason for it, like, except to just make fun of your friends. Like,
I mean, as a kid, you
snotting out of their face and
maybe potentially fuck yourself up with that. I feel like.
Oh, you could tear up your stomach. Yeah, you could tear up your stomach like that. You could mess up your digestive tract. Really
I would never even imagine to try that.
No chance.
No chance.
I mean, I tried it a little bit. Like, it's a black chip. Like, it's not even appetizing. Like, it's not like it's just dark.
No, it's made to
and-
be a social media video.
Yeah,
Like to laugh at people.
Like the jelly
Like
beans.
it's for what it's for.
that's crazy. That's crazy.
Is the sauce though? You keep saying like hot. Like I feel like I didn't realize it was hot.
So it's a pineapple habanero based sauce.
Yeah.
So we make it. When we tell people it's not. I never marketed it as a hot sauce.
Gotcha.
So we marketed it as a spicy condiment. And I tell people, listen, the reason why it's a spicy condiment to me is because you use more of it, right? Hot sauce, you use a little couple dots here and there, right? Because it's crazy, it's hot. We don't want people doing that because we want people to get those health benefits out of it. So a 1 ounce serving, we want you to eat a whole ounce of it, and we want that to go on to food. And we want people, I have had friends of mine, they go through half a bottle in a sitting. I mean, it gets crazy after a while. You have the people that really fall in love with the product, and they're just, whether it's chips or chicken fingers or whatever, fish sticks or mozzarella sticks or any kind of fried gluttonous food
As
is
a
great.
dipping.
Oh yeah,
thing?
right out of the bottle.
Makes
Just
sense.
Pour it right on the food.
Yeah.
It's
pour it
got
right on
that
the food.
like consistency to it.
Yeah,
like salsa almost.
like
Like
a
salsa,
duck,
yeah.
a duck sauce consistency.
But to me, I think duck sauce. I think those little packets, and that's just
Right.
like straight up syrup.
Well,
it's like gelatin.
if I'm being honest, when we first met,
yeah,
my first thing, I don't like fucking duck sauce. I'm not
Right.
gonna eat this shit. Like fucking, but you brought the thing, and I didn't try it until maybe a few months ago,
okay.
and it was very good.
Once I was on a schedule,
No,
I gotta try this.
Yeah, get
It's
'em.
funny you say that though.
Shit is really coming.
He's actually gonna show up, this guy.
Yeah.
It's funny.
No, it would be-
It's funny you say what you said about though, like the using half the bottle, because like when you first gave it to us, like I was like, I think we ordered tacos or something like that.
Yeah, we
and
went
went through like one bottle at
Yeah.
one night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Which is a nice sales move on your part.
Totally.
Yeah, it's a good move. It's a good move.
But I was surprised at how good it was, and I've never been a duck sauce fan to begin with.
Right.
So it's not like I'm a duck sauce guy, but I put it on like some pork that my wife made,
Nice.
and it was very good.
Yeah. So we do have a couple flavors. We're coming out with some more stuff, and we have a couple other things that we're working on. So this is what we call our entry level spice level, right? So this is for entry level people that are just getting into spices and just trying to change their palate a little bit. And also, I have 2 little kids. You guys met them.
Oh, yeah.
I came by with them one day. What I really like to do is try to get kids to open up their palate by using something like this that's a healthy option for them, and it gets them to eat grilled vegetables. It's great on grilled vegetables, great on potatoes. We use it as a dressing on salad. You whip it up with a little olive oil because it's vinegar based. So you have that little pineapple summer salad that's got a little bit of a kick to it. So it helps kids. My kids just started eating it, and it's not like a regular thing yet, but they're not sauce kids anyway. They're not really ketchup kids or anything like that. So they just started eating it, and I do it all for that. Like, to see that, it blows my mind. And
Is it better for you than ranch? Because I buy buckets of ranch. I go through buckets and gallons of ranch.
Listen, we're gonna give you a break on this episode. You've had a couple rough episodes.
I mean, that comment right there played into the last few episodes too.
If you want to bait me into those, that's fine. But I'm gonna give you a little break on this, Kurt.
Wait, your kids are eating a lot of ranch dressing?
No way, can you believe it? Yeah, on everything.
You're in trouble.
Sometimes ranch and then barbecue sauce in the middle of it.
Yeah, that's not
The
the
next
worst
guest is going to be a
idea.
pediatrician.
Pretty much just eating condiments. That's all this is.
So this would be better. Yes, yes. On a level of crap to no crap, this is definitely
Wake
towards
up, kids!
towards the no crap side. But yeah, I mean, it's the whole process has been very exciting. We've been at it for a few years now. I originally started the product on my my regular job, so I work heavy construction in New York, and we have a ton of different people on the job as far as different ethnicities, and we're always sharing food, and that's kind of where the basis of this started.
Which ethnicity responds the best?
Responds the best to the product?
Yeah, like, oh, this is great. Versus which one is like, oh man, I'm not fucking with your shit.
What's crazy is like it's mostly the white kids. They love it. Okay. They absolutely love it. Okay. And it's everybody, but you know what it is? People that have a more in-depth palate, they expect it something that it's not. They expect it to be hotter. They expect it to be like an extreme. They expect it to be something like that where it's not. This is more like a daily sauce. Like I want people to run through a bottle in a week. When you go shopping again, go get another bottle. Like that's my whole plan. That's the whole thing. And so I basically started out with a bag of hot peppers that a friend gave me that he grew in his garden, and I had nothing to do with them. I had no idea what to do with them. I was chopping them up and putting them on my bagel and cream cheese in the morning, and it was just like blowing my mind.
But you're a guy who cooks. You've always been that way.
I cook. Yeah, I cook a lot. I was supposed to go to culinary school when I got out of high school, and then things changed. I started making money and started working in the industry that I'm in now, and it was something that I fell in love with. And cooking is very difficult as far as you have to dedicate yourself, especially if it's at a restaurant, like a high-end restaurant or something like that. It's holidays are
lifestyle.
You're dead. It's overnights, you're dead. Prep time.
Pressure.
Everybody thinks, oh, but you're only working from like 8 o'clock at night until midnight. Yeah, but there's prep time, there's cleanup, there's all that stuff. And once I started realizing what that was, so it's just like unless you're removed from the actual restaurant, meaning like you have multiple restaurants that you're just managing and you're just throwing in your 2 cents into the menus every now and then, and you have head chefs and you have sous chefs. Listen, I couldn't see moving up the ladder through that process. It just wasn't in my sights. And so for me, the option was, hey, start working, you have a good career, you have a good job, you're good at this too, and cook at home and play around and have fun. And then, once this started, it was just a friends and family type of thing. I was making it in mason jars at the house, because we had those hot peppers. I was trying to make like a pepper jelly. I was never consistent with it. Sometimes it would be like a rock that wouldn't come out of the jar.
Like a sweet jelly?
It was like a sweet pepper jelly.
That exists as a thing?
It
like
is.
a relish almost, right?
Yeah. It's like but they have it like where it's like a regular jelly.
Like a spreadable jelly?
Yeah, like a spreadable hot pepper jelly.
That's weird.
It is. It is a weird thing. But I was thinking for like breakfast stuff, which this is also great on breakfast stuff. Like egg sandwiches, killer. Pineapple habanero with egg sandwich.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it was awesome. So any kind of pork product, I'm really
getting hungry right now.
Yeah, that's why I had to stop and grab something. I was gonna fucking die. So, but any kind of pork product is really, really great on any kind of rice dish, anything it has a chance to absorb into. That's why, if you want to just go gluttonous and have fun, I just rip a hole in an egg roll, fill it like a jelly donut, and go crazy.
Megan, you whipped up a fucking
I did.
angry duck dish, right?
I'm not a spicy girl, so I fit into like the white kid category that you're talking about the people that
You might
it
be
hits
the leader
with.
of the white kid category.
You ain't fitting in any other category than white kid category.
No, but we do every week. We do like a batch of crock pot shredded chicken, and we use different sauces and like meal prep it for the week. Nice. So you had sent them over. I got them at the end of last week, and we did it, and it's been very good. Had it for lunch today.
Oh,
but
wonderful.
it's nice. little kick, but I can still handle it. So it's like me
Open
approved,
that up.
which
Let's
is
drink
good.
it. I want to try
I
it.
almost
Perfect.
want to drink.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, you want to do a little shot?
You're supposed to take a shot. I mean, you can take just a shot. I'll do
Dude,
a
you
shot.
can, first of all, you can do whatever you
And I
want.
got pineapple.
Don't let anybody hold
He's
you
like,
back.
second of all, I'm the guy who sells it, so yes.
So yeah,
take
you
a
can
shot.
Take a bath in it. I
Why do I have to
don't
open up mine?
care. Whatever you want, man.
That's like when I used to sell beer. They'd be like, "What do you?" I'd be like, "Yeah, pour it on the floor. I don't give a shit."
Yeah, whatever. Like, whatever you want to
Break
do.
the whole fucking case.
Yeah, whatever you want to do.
All right, my first suggestion is get a tab here, all right?
It's supposed to be. It's supposed to be. What do you want? I don't control everything.
So like, what makes it duck sauce though?
Nothing. So the reason why we got the name is
Apricots.
because it So there's no apricots. So
Really?
yeah, really? Right. So apricots are duck sauce. So the reason. So we were trying to figure out a name. So we have we were in East Meadow at a friend's house, and we had a group of people. And we're all trying it and tasting it and whatever. And my buddy just comes walking by. He's like, "It fucking looks like duck sauce." I was like, "It does look like duck sauce." I was like, "You're right."
Just
I was
the way it
except
looked.
it's just the look. I said, except it's angry. Because in restaurants, when they note a dish that's spicy, they'll say like angry lobster, angry clams, angry this, whatever. So I was like, angry duck. So I called my brother. He's a graphic designer. I was like, Nick, can you draw me an angry duck? I was like, could you make that happen? And that's it. That's over.
This guy's dropping the
So
cap.
Now we got to drink the whole thing.
so he came up with like 8 different designs. And we basically picked the guy that's on the bottle, and now we've adjusted that character. So now we have a few different characters that go on the bottle.
Didn't think I was going to be doing this, but
Come on,
Tastes
come
nice.
on.
We're tree lotting angry duck sauce.
That's a good clip.
Reloading.
This guy's like, "Can I get a shot of omeprazole after this?" It's actually good. It's
Nobody's
like
sick, right?
so
I'm going away in
balanced.
3 days.
Really balanced.
You got a little bit of zing, a little bit of spice, nice sweetness. To
Meg,
it.
you're not going to take a hit out of yours?
Yeah,
Come
no.
on, crack it.
That's good. I like it.
So you mix it with tequila. You can make spicy pineapple tequila shots.
Oh, I'm a spicy marg girl.
She's like spicy
That's
mugs.
fun.
Oh yeah, that's fun.
By the end of this episode, you can do everything.
You can do
with
everything.
this.
You can polish your car with it.
Rub it on your
Yeah.
cuts. Got a little scrape,
Take
rub
a
it
little
on.
bird shit, whatever.
Yeah. You run out of gas on the fucking Southern
Oh
State.
yeah, that'll get you going.
Get you to the gas station.
It's like Robitussin.
It's delicious.
And
It's
Windex.
the tussin. It's the tussin.
I can marinate something with this, right?
So
Oh, tell me I can't do that.
no, you can do whatever you want. But in my eyes, I like the last 5 minutes of cooking.
Okay.
So what would you think in your head that you would marinate with it? Just off
I
the
mean,
top of the
that
head.
chicken.
Okay, so for me, when I do baked chicken or grilled chicken, I'm typically I typically just do salt and pepper or adobo, green
Right,
top
yep,
adobo, typical.
Kurt, you know adobo?
I know adobo.
All right.
Yeah, there's green and red. I like the green one. So
I didn't know there was 2 colors, but I know
I
adobo.
think there's 3. I think there's a blue one also.
I know it.
Throw that one in there. But so I do adobo on my chicken or just salt and pepper, and I cook it till it's the last 5 minutes. Then I'll paint that on like a barbecue sauce because of the sugar in it. It could burn.
Gotcha.
Or if you're marinating with it, you're just wasting so much of the sauce.
Okay.
Unless you're into slowly cooking down the extra marinade and turning it back into a sauce without the salmonella, if you're willing to do that,
Don't
then
do
that's
that.
on
Don't
you.
do that.
Don't try that
Don't
one.
try that
Yeah,
one.
I wouldn't.
Not with chicken.
So, but for this product itself, it's ready out of the bottle. It's ready 5 minutes, paint it on. It'll get nice and sticky and reduce. What I do is oven baked wings a lot, and my kids just started eating wings, which is another exciting thing, eating chicken off the bone. So I'll do oven baked wings, and I'll separate theirs for them, and then for my wife and I just toss them in that and put them back in for another 3-4 minutes, and they get nice and tacky and sticky.
My
and
wife does
juices.
oven baked
That's
wings a lot too.
Nice.
Yeah, oven baked
Boy.
wings are great.
That sounds
They're
right.
great. A lot of people they get tied up with the fried wings or this, that, whatever.
My wife makes oven baked wings that are just like fried wings.
Yes,
They're like
they
exactly
come out
the same.
just like fried wings. And if you really want them to taste like a fried wing after that, take them out, let them cool, throw them in the air fryer.
Mm.
And then after that, they get a little bit of bone pull, so you get that little bit of bone exposure, and that thing is ready to just fall right off.
I'm fucking starving.
Yeah, I could do this all day.
Holy shit.
I can do this.
I'm gonna
It's
pair
just a
that with
food
a bunch of
episode.
things from 7-Eleven on the way home. Taquitos, definitely.
Ruffles.
Yeah, all
sitting
that
there. I have a friend of mine. He's just white bread and butter.
Oh,
White bread and butter. He dips it right in the sauce and he eats it like.
That's intense.
White bread and butter.
Yeah, like Wonder Bread. and butter. And he just dips Angry Duck and just eats it until the bottle's gone. And I'm like, you are
crazy.
an animal. Yeah, whatever, man. I mean, listen, however you want it.
It's a big world, you know? It's a big world.
Yeah, it's cool. There's a lot of options.
It's delicious.
Thank you.
It could definitely work well as a salsa, just like a salsa.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Chips and dip.
Yeah. So, and you can add it to your regular salsa too. So
Yeah,
if you
yeah.
wanted to make a pineapple salsa and you just had like a regular Newman's or whatever salsa you normally get, you could just whip it up in there with it. And, you know, you have a nice little pineapple flavor to it. And if you want to add extra heat to it, it's easy. I mean, you could take any of your favorite hot sauces, like your legit hot sauces, and just add it to it.
What's your favorite hot sauce?
Oh, my favorite go-to hot sauce would probably be Cholula's. With the wooden little knob on top, right? So I like that. I like El Yucateco.
Yep.
They have a nice variety of sauces.
Like sriracha?
I love sriracha. Okay. Yep. So if we do like Spanish style dishes, obviously we lean towards the Spanish stuff. We do we also do some Asian style stuff. We do a lot of like if I smoke ribs, I'll break the ribs down. You know, if we don't eat all the ribs, I'll break the ribs down and we make our own pork fried rice. So we do like an Asian night where we either add this, so you get like a pineapple pork fried rice with it, or you just add extra sriracha to it to get it really going.
This is why I don't watch like the Food Network.
I know.
Yeah, I'm like, I'm
eat
starving.
every single time.
My mom is in the hospital, and for fucking 2 months, this woman has had the Food Network on
Oh,
every
it's
time I go there.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking at
Smart
like
lady.
the hospital food. I'm like, what are you doing to yourself? I'm like, put on fucking something else, you know?
She's waiting to get out. That's what she's doing.
Anything
Jesus
else.
Christ.
She's got a top 10 once
The
she gets
Food
out.
Network.
What you feeling about like? And I'm sure this is like bottom of the barrel hot sauce. It's like probably it's pedestrian hot sauce, but I love it. It's just Frank's Red Hot.
Frank's is great.
It's like to me,
Frank's
it's like
is
the
great.
most signature flavor.
Yeah.
Like
Frank's is
that
great.
flavor is
That's what it is. Like
it's an institution.
I like Frank's over Tabasco. I think Tabasco is
Same,
probably
but the
like
watery one,
it's no offense Tabasco. Listen.
But Tabasco's a different. It's like
Listen,
that's like
don't be
that's like
fucking
saying
political,
bourbon
right?
versus Scotch.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Right.
Tabasco is
It's
completely
really specific.
It's a different thing.
Really specific.
I like the green one, not really the red one.
Right.
The green Tabasco?
The green Tabasco. I
Yeah,
like.
green Tabasco.
The green Cholula.
Isn't there a very
one's
good
too.
one at Chipotle? Chipotle.
That's the green
Don't
Tabasco.
they have-
Yeah.
Is that what that is? That's
Yep.
like the famous hot sauce that people like steal from there.
Oh, I've
Yep.
never been
Yep.
to Chipotle.
You've never been to Chipotle?
Nah.
Wow.
Don't
Why
go
would I?
now.
Yeah. It's
You're
past
past.
the prime.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
well,
old.
Yeah.
When it first came out, it was awesome, but now it's
I'm
just
sure
a
your
whole bunch
sauce
Of,
would be great on a Chipotle bowl, though.
it's a whole bunch of like
Appreciate it.
angry fucking 20-year-olds who are mad that they're not billionaires and they
Right.
don't understand why they're
Well, they
serving
deserve to
burritos.
be.
Oh, yeah,
Let's
yeah.
be real. You know, let's.
Yeah, don't go.
They really get
Like,
it.
listen,
Don't go. But if anybody from Chipotle is listening, we actually represent Angry Duck. Just give us a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right,
Yeah,
that's right.
fine. I'll take the.
They would love to be in your
Make the
stores.
deal. Whatever. Just let me know where I got
They-
to sign.
I like
Chipotle's
Valentina
awesome.
too.
It's
Is that the
okay.
one we have in here?
Valentina was nice.
Nice.
It was nice. We
You
bought
had
like
that
a
one?
fucking like 8-gallon
Yeah.
drum once.
Oh, nice.
When we first opened
Yeah.
5 years ago, and we're
it's
still working off
huge.
of it. Well, the problem was it came in that big jug, and then we had no way of getting it out of there.
Oh yeah.
Besides dumping like the whole bottle onto whatever you.
Does
were
hot
eating.
sauce go bad, you think?
Typically, if it's a vinegar-based hot sauce, which there's plenty that aren't, but if it's a vinegar-based hot sauce, the shelf life is
Forever.
almost immeasurable. Yeah, it's you know, because it's its own, you know, when you bottle the product, like we bottle our product, it's a hot bottling process. So it's a self-pasteurizing process. So it's just like a cannery process. So this shelf life on this bottle, like we have it tested out for 5 years because that's what they offered. They said 5 years. I said, yeah, sure. I said, why not? I said, I'm not going to, you know, I can't imagine.
I think that's pretty solid.
I think that's good because I think it would be awkward if somebody picks up a bottle and they're like, this is good for 15 fucking years. Like, what the hell is in here? Like,
And
what
if
kind
you
of
got
preservatives was this guy using here?
and
Well,
if somebody
antifreeze.
buys it and doesn't
Made
eat
by
it
Twinkie.
within 5 years, they're probably not coming back for another bottle.
Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's a little weird. But in reality, you know, you hear all the time, like, oh, they found a ship and it's got, you know, peaches that are in mason jars
Yeah.
and they've
Yeah.
been there for 150 years and they're still edible. Like, you know, but that's the process that we use. And I think a lot of the other sauces that are vinegar based, they have that natural preservative in them and they don't need anything else. So we put on the bottle, you open the bottle, refrigerate it after opening, just like everybody else in the world puts on their bottles, right? And that's a security measure. If it's sitting out overnight, it's not something you have to throw out. It's something that's very stable and it's very good. And our acid content is a nice amount to where it keeps it preserved, and there's nothing that's going to grow in the bottle. So we did a lot of work with this product. It was a lot of fun, and it still is a lot of fun because we're making adjustments. We're changing a few things for the next round, which will be early summer 24 is what we're looking at. We have a couple extra flavors. We have a couple extra other products that we're looking at to bring to the market. Hopefully everything works out. We could bring everything together. Would be great.
Are you in stores?
Yeah, we have a few stores. I have a couple stores in Brooklyn. We have a few stores in Jersey. I live in Jersey, so we have a few stores throughout Jersey. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, I don't mind. That's a very New York thing to say. We feel the same about you.
That's true. That's definitely true.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Trust me, my wife is from Brooklyn. She's like, I'm never moving to fucking Jersey. And then as soon as we got the house, we pulled up, and I was like, I hope you like Jersey.
I know you told us that last time.
I was like, here it is.
But also, at the end of the day, it's just a fucking ham, egg, and cheese. You know, it's not. There's nothing special about that fucking breakfast sandwich.
Oh, the pork roll?
Pork roll, right? They call it a pork roll.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
yeah. It's delicious.
Did you see the Jets
You
guy?
know, just
what
like
they
every
did with
other
him?
pork product.
No, I actually saw Jersey Shore do it.
Oh, Jersey
Yeah.
Shore did it a couple weeks ago. Yeah.
No, they had the Jets had a wide receiver they were trying to sign, and like one of the biggest
Oh,
Jets
yeah.
fans sent them
Right.
a fucking Taylor ham or whatever it is, fucking pork roll
Well, he was in North Jersey, so it's Taylor ham.
to the place, like to the guy, like DoorDashed it
Crazy.
because they knew he was going to be there.
Right.
So it's just
Did
a
you
ham,
eat it?
egg, and cheese with thick ham?
It's man, if this was going to be part of the conversation, I would have brought it with me. So it's a heavily processed version of ham. It's like
so
the
it's
bologna.
Spam?
It's like the bologna version of ham.
Okay.
So please don't fucking flame me for this. Anybody that's listening, I'm just trying to explain.
Jersey's never
So-
buying Angry Duck sauce.
So,
Yeah, exactly.
so,
They're like, fuck
so
this guy.
Jersey buys inferior ham and passes it off as a
I don't know what
specialty
they're
sandwich.
doing with it,
but is
it's-
Taylor ham and pork roll the same thing?
so it is the same thing.
Right.
But
Okay.
man, this is gonna.
It's where
This
you're
is
from.
good. This is good.
It's
I
not.
like-
It's not even just where you're from. Taylor Ham is the company that makes it.
Oh, it's a brand.
It's the brand.
Okay.
Okay.
Product is pork roll.
Got
It's
it.
not that complicated, but everybody. Over
Well, here
there,
where we do boar's head, you know,
yeah, exactly, and that's all I
like civilized people.
That's my thing.
Like civilized.
Yeah. Exactly. It's crazy to me. It's crazy. When we got over there, I was like, "What is this?" And then I had it, and I was like, "Oh." And then they were like, "Do you want it thick or do you want it thin?" I'm like, "I don't." I'm like, however you want to cut it, brother.
It's probably great.
It's fine. It's just
probably
like
great.
every other cold cut in the world,
Yeah.
except when you fry it up and you put it with an egg and cheese. I mean, it's delicious. There's
wow.
turkey, egg and cheese, ham, egg and cheese, bacon, egg and cheese, whatever.
My last beer job was, and I had a Jersey wholesaler, and I got there, and it's all like they would every Friday they'd be like, I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
And they're all like fighting about what it's called and what's better, and
Right.
I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And then for the whole time I was there, that's all they talked about. But
I think it's just something that they enjoy bickering over. It's like an older bicker, and because a lot of people from North Jersey, they go South Jersey for the summer and they go to the beach and do this and do that, and it's just something that they have fun with.
I think it's funny how like Long Island people and Jersey people hate each other. 'Cause,
Yeah,
like
it's
we're
the
exactly
same
we're
hilarious.
exactly the same.
Hilarious.
Same.
Which is there's
I
a
moved-
slightly difference in the
I
accent.
moved from Long Island to New Jersey, and I have the same exact lifestyle. It's
Yeah.
the same
It's the
people.
same-
it's the
same
same
people.
crowds.
It's the same thing.
everything.
Same thing.
And like the same, like when people find out that I'm not from Jersey, their attitude changes.
Interesting.
Oh, it's weird. It's very weird. Like they're like, "Oh, where are you from?" I said, "Well, I'm not from Long Island either." I said, "So what's the difference to you where I'm from?" I said, "I live over here." I said, "I've lived here for the last 10 years." So what is the problem? I'm like, "I'm not from this spot right here where you're
You're not
standing."
one of them.
But even when you just move there, you're still the same. It's the same people. You're still the
same-
same person. They wouldn't know that you lived there, didn't live there your whole
I have
life.
no idea.
It's the
You
same
know?
people.
Have no idea.
It's
But
the
just
same
because
people.
you don't know the specific like stores that used to be, the history of the town that you
It's
happen
exactly
to be
what
standing
somebody from over here would say.
in. Who
Like,
gives
oh,
a shit?
yeah, you remember the old
Oh,
movie
you remember
theater?
this? Do you remember Walgreens or 5 and dime down the road? Yeah, who gives a shit? Like,
Yeah.
bro, things progress.
Exactly.
Now it's a Starbucks. Like, who
Yeah,
gives
but
a
let somebody like you're out of state and you're traveling and let somebody say, "Oh, are you from Jersey?" You're like, "What? Are you fucking crazy?" Jersey,
Right.
And I'm sure it's probably the same
It's
way.
so weird.
They go to you, New Yorker.
Yeah.
Oh.
So where was I? I was on vacation. This is many, many years ago. So I was on vacation and I was single at the time.
All right.
Just cover that.
Good disclaimer.
We were single at the time. And so we were clubbing, we were out in Arizona. So I don't think that I really carry an accent because I live here and I work in the city and whatever. These girls couldn't get over the fact that I was from New York, and all they wanted me to say was New York and
Words-
like all
words
the
with
typical,
R's?
like the list of shit, right? And I was like, well, I live in Long Island. I don't like. They thought I was from the, like Hell's Kitchen, like I was like a Bowery boy. I'm like, what is going on?
Direct
here?
descendant of Al Capone.
Yeah, I'm like, what is this? Is so weird. But when you know, like you said, when you go out of state, it's like everybody just lumps the Northeast people into one small little group. I said, you realize? I said the city is a very tiny portion of the whole state of New York, which is the dairy capital of the country.
Well, Boston people are kind of the same too. Like the surrounding areas of the suburbs of Boston. It's the same type of person.
Right.
Same type of
Yeah,
person.
they sound super weird though.
No, I mean,
Boston
but they
itself
think
is
we sound weird.
It's a pretty small city,
It
like
is
as
tiny.
far as how many people
compared
are
to
there?
New York?
600,000.
Oh, they're in the thousands.
Blew my mind.
spread
Yeah, we're
out.
tiny.
Wow, that's crazy.
Blew my mind.
And how many like square? Would you know how many square miles?
Megan lives there. I don't know.
Yeah,
She
I
knows.
hear you. Am I? Is that too much for you?
Oh God, yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I can look it up. What's the question? Anything with geography, I'm done.
I'm with you.
Well, she's from Long Island, so she's not supposed to.
I hear
know.
you. I hear you.
Yeah, I'm a Long Island girl.
But I feel like is there a lot of traffic in Boston?
There wasn't a lot of
Is that,
anything.
No.
When we went there to visit.
No,
her.
Like,
okay,
at night
all right,
it's quiet?
all right. But there's
No,
not
it's a
a lot
nice
of
city,
people,
it's
like at
clean.
any given
Oh, yeah.
moment.
Can walk around.
Yeah.
My wife
Yeah,
and I were in the
completely
city
different.
on Sunday morning, and I was just like, wow, this place is a fucking shithole.
Oh, dude.
Like, I don't understand why people still go there, live
Because they
there.
don't know.
It's like
What's the shithole?
New
New
York
York.
City.
New York
Oh, I haven't been there in a minute.
Yeah.
Like the graffiti
Yeah, it's
is
not
out
good.
of
Yeah, it's
control.
nuts.
Like
It's
on
sick.
like on people's signs.
I think
and
that's
their
I
doors.
think that's
and,
I hate to say that's a recent development.
No, yeah, I think the last few years have
I
been
think
rough.
the last few years have been
Yeah,
worse,
without a doubt.
worse than normal.
It
So
still
it looks
has
like
its
the
magic.
80s again?
It still has its
course.
magic,
Looks like
but
the 80s.
last few years have been rough.
Like we had the opportunity last weekend or the weekend before to go into the city for like at night. And my wife's like, oh, my brother wants to go into the city. I was like, fuck that. And she goes, really? I was like, listen, I said, if I can't see down the block and like around the corner, where we're walking, I said, it's too dark. I said,
Can't
I'm
see
not
the
doing
sky.
it.
yeah.
I said, babe, I've been working in the city my entire life. I said, I know what to expect. I said, in times like this, not a good idea to be there at night for like gallivanting and try to enjoy the drinks and hanging out.
And there was
I
like
that's
15
just
years
not-
ago where I'm sure
Bro,
you
you
guys
could've
were doing it
blitzed.
too, but we were doing
Blitzed.
everything.
Well, that's what I was
Blitz.
saying to my wife. Like in the early 2000s, even like late 90s, when we were like growing up, and like it was safe as could be.
Yeah.
Relatively
Going
clean.
to factory,
Yeah.
hanging out,
You know?
like
Absolutely.
It's fucking crazy now.
It was a great time.
That is
It was a great
nuts.
time. Cruising in, cruising out. Never have to worry about anything. Going all the way out east at the same
COVID
weekend.
beat up a lot of spots, man.
Yeah. And I think it
I've
beat up
seen
a lot.
videos of San Francisco recently.
Oh, that's crazy.
I
I
heard
was
some-
just
Like,
telling. I was
they're
just,
like lost. It's over.
So we started watching Full House with the kids. Right, nice wholesome show.
That's
Right,
cute.
Full House is cute. So my wife's like, "Oh, what is that? San Francisco?" I said, "Yeah." She goes, "Oh, that looks nice." I said, "We're never gonna go to San Francisco."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Why?" I was like, "People are literally leaving their cars wide open, trunks open. So anything that's theftable is open for the people walking down the street. Because if not, then they get their windows smashed out and they get their change stolen." I said, it's on such a regular basis. They literally leave their doors,
Yeah.
windows, everything wide open, so people could just rifle through their shit and then move on to the next one.
Aren't they also shitting on the streets around there?
I
Like
mean,
they're
you
just
know.
they're just shitting on the street. Like I heard they were just shitting on the street.
Well, I mean, they don't have bathrooms, so it's
Yeah.
got to go somewhere.
Wait, but is it all like I know that's the case, but like is it all of San Francisco? Because there's like some of like
I have
the
no
most
idea.
expensive.
Very
Yeah, but
expensive.
they're
I
like,
have
neighborhoods.
no idea.
I think
Like,
that's
so tech-
everywhere, though.
No, but
there's
the-
going to be pockets of wealth.
There's
and pockets
definitely going to be
of
pockets
shit.
of it.
Yeah,
yes.
but there's, I mean,
100%.
in our lifetime, there's never been like, I mean,
I've never seen the
in
public-
New York
the-
City,
the-
there's never been like homelessness to the level that it's at now.
Yeah, I have a couple stories, but they're not like I wouldn't be like on a mass.
Yeah,
Like
of
I
course.
have, you have a couple of.
There's always bad
interactions.
neighborhoods, but it
Yeah.
seems as though like it's changing drastically.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just a more regular thing. I have a niece that, she's in and out of the city all the time. She's 19, and I worry all the time about that. And make sure you got somebody with you, and make sure you carry a knife or pepper spray or something. And she's like, "Oh, we go to these parties, and they take everything away from us." I said, "They take what?" She's like, "They'll take our pepper spray and say you can't bring a weapon into the party." I said, "Then don't fucking go."
Yeah.
Wow.
I said, if they're making you vulnerable, I said, you're a 19-year-old female. I said, you're like 110 pounds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I said, they're turning you into
That's
a more
nuts.
vulnerable person. I said that if they don't understand what you're doing, I said, and it's not like, these are like, it's not like clubs and stuff like that. Like I could understand you have an establishment, a club, but this is like a regular somebody's party.
Wow.
Like a
And
house
they have,
party.
and they have secure, well, whatever they have,
Well,
warehouse
whatever.
party. But
Party,
yeah,
party.
it's like a private event.
Yeah.
And they have security there, and they're pulling all this stuff away from the kids. And I understand you don't want gangs and
Nice.
blades and this and that and whatever. I get it. But at the same time, like I told her, I said, if that's the way it is, I said, turn around and walk away.
Yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
turn around and walk away. I said, that's crazy.
That's
You
it.
know.
My kids aren't allowed in the city.
Smart.
That's scary.
How's it balancing out your regular job and this passion you have?
It's all right.
Yeah.
You know,
Hard?
it's all right. It's just like everything else. Like they say, there is no real balance. Like sometimes you dive headlong into this, and then sometimes you got to take a break. And I'm the only person that puts pressure on me, you know, besides like, you know, but it's still me. But besides, you know, people asking for more product and stuff like that, but it's still me trying to navigate that and just being able to explain to people, listen, I can only make so much as, you know, in a length of time. And then once we get to that next length of time, I'll make more. And, you know, right now we're out of a couple flavors, which is fine. At first I was losing my mind that I was going to run out of product. And then after a while I was like, fuck it, man. I was like, what's the difference? I was like, if I'm out of product for a little while, I said, when we come to market and we adjust the product a little bit the way I want it, or you know, I could strap myself even more and make a little bit of product just to keep that end of the product going and those people satisfied. Or if they're really fans of ours and they're really, you know, they really want to see us succeed, they'll understand we have to take a little bit of a break. You know, we're not a huge company. We're not even a small business. We're a micro business. You know, we're this is it. It's a family. It's just us. And, you know, we're trying to do the best we can with it and keep it going, you know, because I think you guys understand, especially, that if you spread too far and too wide too quick,
Yeah, it's hard to manage.
you're never going to keep up.
Yep.
You're never going to keep up. And you're either going to stress your home lifestyle to the point where, you know, there's going to be a difference there, you know, where you're starting to put pressure on your marriage, your kids, or, oh, I got to do this event. I have to do this. And, you know, and it's constantly getting ready for stuff like that. And it's not, you know, you go to an event and it's fun, and you can bring your kids and you can enjoy the day, that's one thing. But if you're going to an event that's impeding on their days, like they want to spend time with you. If my job works 5-6 days a week, sometimes 7 days a week, sometimes I work nights. I'm all over the place with my regular career. So if this is eating up time on the weekends for my kids and my family, then I just stop and I just take a break. And
Is
I
that
say no.
is that
cool.
your position on it for the long haul,
No.
or is your position on it you want it to ultimately replace?
Right.
Got
Yeah,
it.
right. Like, so I met a very nice lady. The last event I did, that's what's cool about events. I don't go to an event expecting like this is gonna make me $1 million.
Yeah.
Right. I go to an event trying to introduce the product to more people.
Brand awareness.
I love giving away samples. I just do like a little chip and a little cupcake thing, and I just make samples all day, and I just give them out to people. And I met a lady that was she owned a food marketing company. Right. So very nice lady. She's embedded into the Small Business Association of New Jersey, and we spoke a lot that day. And meeting people like that, it gives me the drive to move forward. But sometimes being a business owner, especially somebody that I don't have any real education in business ownership or management. So for me, I take a step back often and try to understand where I'm going, like where the money has to go, because there's only so much money, right? So there's not some endless bank account that I could reach into and say, okay, well, today we're going to put this much money in marketing, or we're going to do product development stuff here, or we're actually going to make the product here, or, you know, clothing design stuff, or whatever we're doing. It just can't be all the time. So the way she asked me is, do you want, and she was very smart about the way she asked. She's also a professor of food marketing, so she knows how to speak to people in small business. She asked me, do you see this product in a couple hundred stores? Expecting that I would get excited over that, right? She said, do you see this product being in a couple hundred stores and on a month-to-month basis you're selling a few hundred cases? I said, no, I don't. And she says, so you want everything? I said, I want everything. I said, I want it all. I want nationwide. I want all the big stores. I said, I want this product where everybody knows it. I said, and it's something available for everybody to have. I said, that's what I want. And she says, okay. She says, well, then you have to point yourself in the correct direction to make that happen. She says, if you're doing all this other little ancillary stuff to make it a fun product for a core group of enthusiasts for the product, that's great. But it's only going to get you so far.
Sure.
You know, so it put things in perspective. And she also, such a nice lady, she offered me help with the Small Business Association, and they have coaching and they have different things that I'm going to be diving into this year to help me market the product better, and then to try to get, you know, distribution and stuff like that, which is the key. You know, that's really the key. Going store to store and selling the product to the stores is great, and getting a few stores, and that's wonderful. And I appreciate all of it because it helps me learn, it helps me grow.
Well, and it'll help you when the time comes when you begin to approach distributors, if they know that people are already buying it.
Right.
It's a lot better than going and having nothing.
Sure. When I say, listen, a half a dozen stores that you guys already deal with already carry the product.
Yes.
And it's been selling.
Yeah.
You know, I had one store, they were very apprehensive. You know, stores are, to me, it's funny, but listen, it's business, and I get it. They said, listen, if you come and do a taste, you know, sampling, and let our customers, we don't have a customer base here for your product. And at your price point, we need a customer base to make sure it gets off the shelf. Okay,
Sure.
no problem. So I did a tasting, and the guy says, listen, if you sell a dozen bottles, you know, we'll buy cases from you. All right, great. So in, I think, an hour and a half, I sold, like, I don't know, it was like 46 bottles, something like that.
Jeez.
So the guy was like, he comes over to me, he's like, everybody in this store is walking out with a bottle of your sauce. I was like,
That's
yeah.
great.
And he's like, how are you doing this? I said, I'm just talking to him. I said, I'm a local guy. I said, and I'm hitting all the local points, and they're trying the product, and then I point them over to the food that you guys carry. You know, they're a higher end grocer, so they're carrying all stuff like Bell and Evans chickens, and you know, they carry nice high end product. So I told him, I said, you know, I'm pairing it with some of the stuff that you guys already carry, and I'm just telling him, hey, listen, this is what I would do. I would go over there and get that rack of ribs that's on sale. I said, do your ribs, and then finish it with this. Put them back on the grill for 5 minutes, and then you got a crazy spicy pineapple barbecued rib. I was like, and you know, I said, these people are eating it up. He says, all right. He says, I'll go take a case of each flavor, and then we'll go from there. And it's been great, you know, and it's stuff like that. But I don't have the ability to do that every day because I work, you know. So for me, you know, it's going to get to a point where I either need somebody to help me drive the product. You know, I need somebody that knows the product and can pitch it like I do, or you know, I need distribution and things like that, which is, you know, that's kind of the next step, I think, which is going to be great. I'm really excited for it.
Get Mr. Wonderful on the phone.
I'm really excited for it. Yeah.
He'll have a deal in a
Maybe
heartbeat.
Manhattan beer.
Maybe Manhattan beer.
You know,
Put a little alcohol in it.
Yeah.
the distributor thing is interesting. It's an interesting world because it's so crowded.
Food business is super hard too.
You know?
Food business.
Yeah,
is very
because
hard.
there's so many competing items.
And like you deal with, I'm sure you deal with it. It's kind of what you were just saying with the stores. They're like, why? You know, like
for what?
Why should I help you? You
what?
know, like what are you going to do for me? That's going to,
so they can make $1?
yeah, it's an interesting like dynamic, and having the personal connection that you have. But yeah, it's scary then when you need to give it to somebody else to sample it who, you know, might be there on their fucking phone the whole time or something like that.
They're collecting their $100 and they're walking out.
Yeah, but I think the starting point, what you're already doing, which is smart, is that like a lot of people will do something like this and they'll be like, this is the best hot sauce, and their friends will tell them this is the best sauce, you know.
Right.
And they get a little bit going, and then they don't get that distributor deal, and they lose heart and they stop.
Yeah.
The guy who's willing to do what you're doing for the next however foreseeable future because you really love doing it.
Yeah.
If you
I love
begin to
seeing people's reactions.
build the
That's
base,
my thing.
then your case becomes substantially stronger
Sure.
with the larger players.
So,
Because the larger players want to know that like you got skin in the game. The larger players want to
Oh, yeah.
know that you're willing to market it. Because if it's just about
anybody
product,
can create it. Yeah.
they'll take the product that's got the better rebate, or they'll take the product that's got, you know, it's coming from an existing relationship or whatever it is, because it's just business.
So beyond the personal involvement with something like that, right? That you know, whether it's stores or distributors, they look at, you know, obviously they're looking at my other end of it, the financial end of it, where they're looking at all your margins. So for me as a new business owner, like at first, and this is probably bad business, don't really care because we were starting out and you have to start somewhere as far as I'm concerned. You know, it's when they were looking at it and they're saying, well, how, even my manufacturer, he's like, how are you going to make this work? Because the way you're selling the product and the way we're making the product, he says, this is honestly one of the most expensive products that I make. He says, how are you going to make this work at your price points? I said, we're just going to make it work. I said, if I can keep the price point, a similar price point throughout its growth, and then save on the back end on development and manufacturing, I said, that's where I'll start making my money. And he's like, listen, man, he says, that's not the way people really do it. He says, you got to start out with the margin. And I said, if I start out like that, I said, I'm not going to go anywhere. I said, because I can't make it in large enough batches to where those margins make sense right away. I said, I would have to go so deep into debt, I said, that I wouldn't feel comfortable. I said, right now, I said, we're not at that point. I said, so I don't mind putting in what I have to put into it to make the product and get it out there. Eventually, if we start getting those bigger deals and it makes sense to go into debt for it like that and get those margins to where the distribution needs those margins, then that's when we'll start talking about that stuff. But for me, to look at those numbers, it might have been defeating in the beginning. You know, it might have been depressing. Like, why am I doing this? Why am I taking time away from my wife and kids? Why, I have a good income. I have a nice life. I have, I have everything I really need. Like, why do I need more? And I think that's a question for most of us, is why do we always look for that more thing? And I know, just because I know who I am, that if it wasn't this, it would be something else.
Sure.
So why not be this?
Yeah.
Why not be dedicated to the one thing and push this along? Because if this stops, I'm going to go back to whatever I was doing before, which, and I'm not that I stopped my other hobbies, but, it's we do a ton of different things to pass the time. And I always had in my head, and I know you're not supposed to focus on the money thing, but I always have in my head, like, how I'm a hustler. That's what I've always done throughout my entire life. If I've been working, I've always doing something on the side or something in the background that's making me money. And everything I do, whether it's a hobby or a passion or whatever it is, it's always been something with some intake of funds. Whether it's I build cars for people, I do different stuff. I give advice to a lot of friends, and just that time that I spend with people, I know there's always something that passes back my way through it. Some people are very idle and they just want to do something at home that doesn't involve other people, and it doesn't really push them to another level. It's just people used to just spend days at the bar. I remember back, a generation ago, it was like every day on your way back from home, way back from work to go home, you're spending 3-4 hours at the bar hanging out with, a couple of guys and whatever, and you're passing the time that way. Like, I've never been that type of person. It's okay. I think it's a good networking thing, or it used to be a good networking thing, when you could go to the bar and or go to a restaurant and you can hang out with people.
Cost is too high, though.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
I'm not talking about the financial cost.
No, not at all.
the toll that it
everything
takes.
And it wears you out. And me, I'm 43 years old. I've done a lot of interesting things, and this is another one for
if you got it in you, you got to use it.
Yeah.
If you got that hustle mentality, if you got that drive to do something, you got to do it, because a lot of people don't have it.
And I love it because it's positive.
Yeah.
It's a positive thing. Like, there's no negative connotation to this. There's nothing bad about this. Like, it's not too much money for people. It's something that could
besides the name
It's
angry.
not bad for anybody's health.
No, it's not bad for your health. Yeah. Like, I had one lady and she's like, I'm allergic to pineapple. I was like, well, then you're out. I was like, what do you want me to tell you? She's like, you don't have anything without pineapple? I was like, it all has pineapple. I was like, I don't know. There's nothing I can do about that.
It all has pineapple.
She's like, but I really want to buy something. Buy a fucking t-shirt. What do you want me to tell you?
Buy a bottle, put it on your shelf.
Yeah, it's great. Give it to a friend. Buy it as a gift. I don't care.
Yeah.
I was like, who else is allergic to pineapple?
It's a funny thing to say, like, but instead of like saying nothing and like moving on,
and like, oh,
to
that's
just
nice.
tell you that I'm allergic, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like, what go through people's heads?
Maybe she needed a friend. I don't know.
Maybe
The sampling thing is interesting. You meet some characters in that setting.
Crazy.
Like, my favorite thing too is, like, when we used to like sample people on beer, they would always go, "It's actually not bad." As if that's some sort of a compliment.
That's my
compliment.
That's the best thing that people say to me is, you know what? It's not bad. I'm like, I love it. I'm
What the
like,
fuck
I love
did you
that.
Because that same person was preparing their negative response. Like, they were preparing it going in.
Yeah.
Like, are you trying to sell me something I don't fucking need?
I've had that before.
I'm gonna fucking show you.
I've had that before.
Oh, it's actually not bad.
Oh, you know what? I could see this putting this on some coconut shrimp would be delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would be good.
It's actually pretty good.
It would be good on that shrimp. You're absolutely right.
Of course.
I like that.
Yeah, man.
I'm starving. Holy fuck.
Stop saying it. Just stop saying it. Should have had chips.
Ooh.
So it's but it's been a lot of fun. You know, it's been a lot of fun. And then the social media aspect of it's been a totally different thing for me because I never did social media prior to this. And then now it's like, you know, I'm trying to figure out how to navigate that and taking a break from that every now and then and not
that'll fucking drive you crazy.
It does. It drives you.
Yeah, but you're doing it the right way from the day that we met because most people want to just post shit and walk away from it.
Yeah.
We deal with businesses like that all of the time.
Yeah.
But the true thing is like the cold reaching out to people, DMing people, engaging with people.
I talk to everybody. I don't care.
That's the way to do it.
That's the way to do it.
Everybody. I talk to anybody, everybody. Like I didn't realize, and I was very naive in social media, not even just not doing it, but because I never did it, I was very naive on how it really worked, like how direct you can reach out to people. And when we first started doing this, like I follow some, you know, when I was a kid, I followed a lot of bodybuilding stuff. And there was a bodybuilder, you know, in the early 2000s, Lee Priest. He was the best arms in bodybuilding. I mean, he was, you know, wonderful physique and all this stuff. And I just happened to see him on Instagram. He takes the
duck sauce by the syringe.
Dude. You want to know what's crazy? I flew him 3 bottles of Angry Duck and a t-shirt. Like, I reached out to him on Instagram. I'm like, hey, man, could I send you something? And he actually got back to me. And this guy's like a world-renowned bodybuilder.
Big deal.
Super famous dude. So he was like, yeah, sure. And I was like, you're going to send me your address? He's like, if you're going to fly this shit to Australia, I'll send you my address. I was like, fuck yeah. So I flew it out there. 1 bottle broke on the way, but he got the other 2 bottles. It was cool. And then he did a live with my t-shirt on.
Oh, nice.
I lost my shit.
That's great.
I lost it. I was like, this can't be happening. I was like, I sent it to my uncle. I was like, yo, Lee Priest is wearing my fucking shirt. It was like, that's crazy.
Awesome.
So from there, but then, so you have this big high on social media, right? Like somebody actually got back to you and like the whole thing came to fruition. Like the dream, somebody actually using your product, everything's right there. And then you have the other people that all you want them to do is give you a like they liked your comment and they don't do that, and so then you're like, what the fuck? All it is a click. Like all you gotta do is push the fucking button. You know, that's all you gotta do. Like it was good, it was funny, I'm laughing. You know, so it like brings you way down to reality. And I'm like,
social media is fucking wild.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, but that's like the perfect example. Fuck those people with the likes. I know it drives it and puts it in front of more people, but finding the right people and reaching out to them and using their sphere of influence, that's the fucking way. Because the access you have these days to people that, like you said, you never thought you'd have before. It's amazing. You know, it's amazing. And you got to jump around from one to the next, where it's like some of them are done. It's hard to get people on those, but the newer ones and
we did an event and the fuck was this thing? Like these people, they had me do a video for like we had a big box of ducks, like the little ducks I gave you guys. We had a big box of them. We were handing them out to the kids and stuff like that. So this lady, they do some artwork stuff. They're on, it's like Crumble or not Rumble, but it's like this weird offshoot social media thing.
Okay.
And they are, all they do is, not all they do because they're talented at what they do, but what they do is they paint and they sell their products to this small social media site that has like 600,000 people on it, 700,000 people on it, right? But because of all the creators, it's such a niche social media site that all the creators have basically all of the following. So everybody has everybody almost. And it's weird because there's not a lot of
600,000 people is a big audience if you can monetize it.
It's a huge audience, but if you exactly. So they're doing it, and that's what they're living off of. Like they're living off of these people buying their $100 paintings, their little baby paintings that they're making custom orders for these, you know, for the individuals on their social media platform. And that's what they were telling me. They said, listen, you would kill it on a social media platform like this, but you have to get in front of the camera. Like you would have to be more personalized.
I could see you doing like cooking recipes and shit and doing
I hear you, man, but it's just I get so weirded out with being in front of the camera. Like
you're doing all right now.
Doing it myself. Yeah, I'm not worried about this.
No, the doing it yourself part, I'm the same way. I can't take my phone and like I can't do that.
You know, I'm like, because I would have to do it a million times for me to accept it. That was the acceptable way.
If there's a camera on me and it's like talk and be yourself, fine with that.
I don't worry about it.
But doing it yourself, I agree. That's hard.
It's weird because, you know, I don't know if there's something in the background of me that okay, once you post this, then people are gonna know. Okay, you are the one that decided to do it this way. Like, there's no middleman here.
Yep.
You know, I was in my kitchen doing this, and I'm goofy and whatever. You know, however.
But I think some version of you doing it would be good.
I agree, and that's honestly when I you know, I did a couple podcasts in the past, and they all said the same thing. They're like, listen, you should really think about it because, you know, if you had the right producer and you had some people that could give you ideas and kind of push you in a direction, I'm just not that.
This guy's just fucking drinking.
It's really good.
It is really good.
Thank you. If we had a bottle of Casamigos here, we'd be fucking...
I don't touch that shit.
No, I know.
Yeah, I'm sure you could find, you know, you could create. You're creative. You could come up with some cool ways of creating content for this.
Yeah,
you know?
you can.
Pour it on people's feet, maybe. Whatever.
I hate to. I mean, there is a foot crowd out
Get
there.
in the foot fetish area?
Oh, God.
No.
I mean, it probably,
said okay.
well, I'd say it definitely would make them taste better.
The feet? Oh, if those feet taste that bad, you got the wrong feet, pal.
I mean, it's going to make them taste better regardless. You can't drink the whole bottle.
You can.
You can.
You can and you will.
It's really good.
Yeah. No, I appreciate it. That's wonderful. Wonderful. But yeah, it's been cool, and it's gonna be.
Well, don't give up.
I'm not. No, I'm not.
No, it doesn't sound like you're ever gonna. But
no, it's you know what it is. It's like I said before. It's trying to figure out the next path, and you know, doing the flavors and expanding the product within itself. That's one step, and I would like to. Once we do our next production, I'm really trying to do a good amount for production so we can really push it along.
Meaning
stores.
like buy into a lot of inventory knowing that you have enough?
Right.
Got it.
So I could push it harder.
Got it.
Because I was always reserved on how hard I would push it because of the...
You didn't know whether it was going to sell or not.
Well, it's not just that. It's just...
No, it's good for 15 years, bro.
Yeah. No, it's not just that. It's when you push it too far and wide, like if it really gets picked up,
yeah, and then you run out.
Then you run out right away.
Yeah.
What's the lead time on a batch?
I mean, my guy's pretty good. You know, he can get me in within a month, and then it's a day's worth of work for him. But we're, you know, like I said, we're making a few adjustments.
A month could be make or break.
It could be, sure, especially if you have somebody that's hot and heavy. You know, it's better to have, like, let's say, you know, listen, I got 300 cases ready to go of each flavor, and let's do this. You know, and the guy says, okay, no problem. You know, and that's where you want to sign on. It's like, well, listen, when can you get the next? These are going to go.
Do you have like a warehouse or a storage space where you keep it, or you keep it
there's a storage place in Carteret, New Jersey, and then my manufacturer will store it also.
That's
and
cool.
I can piecemeal it out of there if I have to.
That's cool.
What about like on-premise places? You have restaurants? I said on-premise. Restaurants and stuff.
So with this upcoming batch, I'm actually going to be doing like half-gallon sizes for restaurants and delis. So we could just drop it off, and I kind of explained to them that the pitch to them is, hey, listen, you don't have to market the brand if you don't want to, you know.
Make something cool with it.
Make something cool with it.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to put on your menu featuring Angry Duck Sauce Company, you know, pineapple habanero, you want to do that, that's fine. If you just want to have a pineapple habanero wing and you use this for the rest of your life, just come to me when you need it, and I'll give it to you. You know, that's fine too. You know, and if you know, because. Listen, the dream would be to get into like a Popeyes, right? Something like a fast food chain that's just going to use it and it would be a killer thing for their chicken sandwich.
Yeah, but it would be just as good if you got every fucking bar and fucking grill in New Jersey.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, not just as good, but that would be an equally awesome step.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So,
1,000 fans.
It's going to be good.
1,000 fans.
It's going to be good.
Well, what's your favorite? Actually, I was just thinking about chicken nuggets, actually.
Chicken nuggets.
What's your favorite McDonald's sauce with the chicken nuggets? Don't say the Angry Duck sauce.
Sweet and sour.
Yeah?
Classic.
That's what I do.
It's close to that.
I was going to guess that for you.
Sweet and sour would be the classic. Yeah. So sweet and sour, I mean, their barbecue sauce is always good. It has a nice little smoky richness to it. Because when you taste another barbecue sauce that has anything similar to McDonald's barbecue sauce, you're like, this tastes like McDonald's barbecue sauce.
Yeah.
It is a sweetness, too.
They're very sweet.
Yeah.
They're very sweet.
I ordered 100 nuggets the other night.
Did you really?
Did you really?
What'd you do with those?
I ate probably 40 of them. Gave 60 away.
100 nuggets. I feel like you could be throwing them at people.
They
for
have
fun.
100 pack?
You buy them by the 240s and a 20.
Oh,
there's 40s.
Well, it's 20. They're all 20s.
They're all 20s. Okay.
But the way they're teed up,
520.
The way they're tiered up on DoorDash is 40 and 20.
Interesting.
You get 40, 2 large fries, and 13
figure-
cookies.
How many
DoorDash.
fucking?
They were
$13 cookies.
They were $1 a nugget. DoorDash.
They got that, and they have a new sauce. It's got like a gold top on it. I think it's called Whack Donald's or something like that.
The anime sauce.
Yeah. Whack down.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's gross.
Yeah, I heard it's pretty good.
I didn't like it.
No?
It was like all of the special ones are always Asian flavored to me, and it's just a vary of like how much salt is in it.
It's an anime thing.
You know,
It is an anime. I think they're doing some sort of anime. I'm not, my kids aren't.
Whack
into anime.
Donald's.
My kids.
I don't know.
fucking
I call
love
it that. It's the way it
they
looks
have,
like it reads.
it's on their bags. I think they have a certain type of
guy's going
flavorings
to
to
McDonald's
some of
now.
their stuff.
He's definitely going to McDonald's.
I
Anime?
gotta
You said
get the
anime?
coin.
Yeah.
I get that for my
My daughter
sons.
just got into Pokemon,
Guys.
so I'm happy with the Pokemon.
That's anime.
Oh, that's
I guess that is right.
That's like entry level.
That is. That's like
That's where they start.
That's the starter, right?
That's where they
It's
start.
Like Angry Duck for spicy.
Next
pizza.
thing, it's Naruto.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, you're a
It's
nerd.
crazy. Yeah. Listen,
You're a nerd. Guess what? You're a nerd.
you woke up one day, and that was it. But yeah, I mean, it's great. It really is. It's great meeting, people like you guys, and like I was telling Jesse before, I'm like a super fan of you guys. I feel because I'll even watch the commercials. I don't know if you guys get something out of it. I don't. The sponsors and stuff. Like I listen to the State Farm and whoever else. Is
I wish we
sponsoring
got
and,
something out of it.
We get a little something.
We get
out of it.
something.
Yeah,
We just don't tell you to.
Good.
Yeah, I'm like, do we get anything?
In my head, I said not a chance.
She's like, I'm always skipping them. Fuck them.
They're just stuck on there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Yeah, man.
Thanks for
I mean,
coming out.
I tell everybody, especially all my friends from Long Island and stuff. I'm like, listen, it's just, obviously I used to listen to the old podcast and stuff, and that's kind of what got me onto you guys, which was great. But it's interesting now because sometimes when I finish an episode of this, it'll roll into one of those episodes, right? Like Spotify rolls you into an old one, and like. For the most part, like if I'm in the car and my kids are in the car, I can listen to this and it's, PG, PG-13 sometimes.
Definitely PG-13.
Whatever.
What are you guys cutting out of
Well,
this
the other
thing?
one was very not.
The one was very nice.
The other one was very...
Very not.
So that's what I'm saying. Like it rolls into that other one, and sometimes like I have on my Spotify, it fades in it, like it blends the two, like it fades in and out. So it'll start like a few seconds in, and it's just and my kids are like, Dad. I'm like, all right.
You're like, wow, Megan sounds different in this one. Exactly like Kevin Pereira.
Yeah, they're firing off hard.
That's funny.
But yeah, but no, it's nice because this is easy. It's easy to.
Well, this is
to,
our angry duck sauce, man.
Yeah,
it's the same thing.
That's what it is.
We're doing this because we love to do it, and
but it's still you.
Build relationships, and that's it.
But it's still you.
That's the most important.
It's not
piece.
like you guys are really reserving yourselves. You're just, trying to be a little more.
Well, no,
like you said, a little more.
Our former partner
palatable
was
for
a
everybody.
little bit less unreserved, or whatever you want to call it.
Great.
Yeah.
Great, because there's room for all of it, which is what I love. Which is what I love, because there really is. There's room for everything, and this is something that I think people really need to recognize as a good process for whether you're an entrepreneur or somebody that's just trying to understand more about life. Podcasts and things like this, they really help people understand that there's more people like them.
Yeah.
Where you get stuck in your head a lot. And you're like, why? Like, there's so many people that would be satisfied with the life I currently have. There's so many people that would kill, not even satisfied, like kill for this lifestyle. Like they really, they would see having healthy kids and having this and having, and they would be like, why do you want more? And I even hear it from my own family. Like, why? Like, dude, just relax.
Yeah.
Like, what are you doing? like you're going nuts over something that's not like, it doesn't really, it's not going to impact your life. If it doesn't like explode and turn into I said, but it does. I said, because I get to show my kids, I said that I can be creative.
Yeah.
We could be creative as a family because they have input on some of the design stuff, and hopefully they'll have input on the flavoring stuff in the future. But it shows my kids that, listen, me getting up at 4:00 in the morning is not the whole thing. Like, you know, me going to work every day and working nights and buying you guys stuff. And that's not the whole thing. Like, it's good. And it's a wonderful thing. And I appreciate every second of my career and, you know, how I'm able to provide for my family. But at the same time, like, you still have you as a person that you have to nurture and take care of.
And I think about that all the time. And you're showing your kids that. You're
And
showing your kids you're willing to bet on yourself.
Yeah.
You're willing to develop your, you know, sensibilities about the world. And that's more valuable than money.
Really, it is. And people are going to think it's cheesy, but it's not. It's a real... When you have little kids and you see their elation when, like... you go out somewhere and somebody's like, hey, you're the angry duck guy. And I'm like, yeah, because I met them at an event like 6 months ago or whatever. And I'm like, yeah. And my kids just get like, they light up like Christmas trees. Like they think I'm, you know, something like, like you're getting famous. I'm like, relax. I was like, take it easy.
Well, listen, the other thing too is the people that are telling you to slow down, there's some angry duck sauce inside of them somewhere that they never got the
100%.
You know, and that's
100%.
what.
Or somebody else squished it for them.
Yeah.
You know,
and they kill to be doing what you're doing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I believe that. I really do. I believe that. I think that, you know, and I do have a ton of, like, it's not always negative around me. I do have a ton of support from friends and family. And that's how this became. Right? Because I was selling it on the job and it was just in mason jars, no label, no name, no nothing, you know, and guys were buying it every day. So I'm at home grinding pineapples and peppers and doing all this stuff. And the house stinks like angry duck every day. And, you know, and I was just dating my wife at the time and she was like, what the fuck is going on with you? I'm like, these guys need it. And I'm like, you know, I'm like grinding.
I'm the guy to give it to him, goddammit.
Can't have lunch without it.
Oh, we gotta get cans. We gotta get bottles. You know, we're going to the store getting fucking cannery shit. I'm like, so then, you know, it took a little bit of a toll on me. But then, you know, we were out with some friends and they were like, dude, you just got to do something. You have to do something with it. Like, you can't just let it be this. Like, this is fun, but you can't just let it be just this, you know? So, that's where we looked into what it takes to develop a business. And, you know, fucking LegalZoom. You know, they were great. I called them up. I was like, LegalZoom, what do I do? I said, this is what I got. This is what I want to do. They said, all right. They said, you could do, you know, food development businesses and you can do this and you can do that. And here's what you owe. And, you know, they sent me a whole corporation. I was like, 2 days later, I was the owner of a corporation. I was like, this is crazy.
Wow.
That is nuts.
It's nuts.
I like that you called them LegalZoom too. You're like, hey, LegalZoom.
Yeah. I was like, hey, LegalZoom. I was like, how you guys doing? I mean, that's their name.
Well, fucking A, man.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks for coming out.
Happy that you came.
Yeah, thank you guys so
great.
much. I appreciate it.